Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to deal with loneliness. So loneliness is something that we all deal with to a certain degree in the modern age because of, you know, technology, social media, living in concrete jungles like cities, right? Not being in contact with others, houses, right? Apartments. We live with barriers now, more barriers now than there were in the past. So how do you deal with not, if you're someone who's maybe, let's say you're an introvert or you're just shy, or maybe you just don't you feel like you don't fit in, you feel like, you know what, man, like none of these people have anything valuable to me. Maybe you're in school, but your classmates are clowns and they have nothing to talk about that seems valuable, right? Like, hey, like we're just talking about sports, we're just talking about this girl, this happened on social media. Like, right? Typically people who have like higher IQs and they're somewhat more intelligent are typically people who have a very difficult time socializing with other people. And it's because, hey man, you just have such a deep need for people with high IQs and that have the ability to really think deeply about different things want to, if they're going to socialize, I consider myself someone with maybe like a medium IQ. I mean, I actually haven't got a test, but just based off of like how I am, the things I like to read, and the type of people I like to surround myself with, I can tell that I have probably like a medium IQ. And you have to realize that having a high IQ can be a curse, because it's like the smarter you are or the more intelligent you are, the less of like there's less smart people than there are dumb people, right? So smarter people just have a really difficult time socializing, because it's like, hey man, most people who are like drinking or going to the game or wherever, in your school, in your college, in your dorm, wherever, they're not talking about deep topics. They're not interested in talking about philosophy, about business, about self-improvement. They're not interested in talking about science. They're not interested in talking about things that require depth, that require you to think, right? They just want to spew a bunch of nonsense that they see on social media, or just, it's basically like locker room talk. And like I said, I have locker room talk with certain people, but for the most part, I don't want to socialize with people that just have nothing to say that can be valuable, right? And I think that offers some solace to people, because it's like, hey, if you understand where your loneliness is coming from, then you can deal with it accordingly. Because I think the biggest problem with loneliness is we don't see why we deal with it, why we're so reclusive. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm kind of like a hermit. I mean, I go out here and there, but I don't really like, it's not my modus operandi to go out and like meet people. You know what I mean? Like that's just not, I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm different or what, but I don't know what it is. I just never felt, even like when I was younger, like I just never felt a need to go out and like make friends or talk to people. Like it's never been something that's like in the back of my mind, like, shit, I really, really need to do this. Like it's never been pressing. You know what I mean? So some of you guys may be able to relate to that. I don't know. I mean, maybe that might just be me, but I can tell you one thing. You don't always want to just be by yourself, regardless of if you have a high IQ or not. You want to socialize regardless, right? So, like I said, it might be difficult to find people that you can relate to, but even just sometimes, even it's just nice to even talk to people, right? Like once you, like if you're like, because I remember back in high school and middle school and times when I didn't like have a car and I didn't have a job, for summers on end I would just be inside playing video games. And I'm like, damn, like there would be times I'd be like, wow, like I've really just gone like 2 weeks without saying a word to anybody. And it was scary at times. So I'm like, damn, like I'm like, wow, like I was just in school for the past 8 to 10 months and I was socializing with all these people, and now there's no one to talk to, right? So you want to be able to socialize to a certain extent. Now, I'm not saying you want to be a life of the party and you want to be out and about trying to make friends all the time, but there needs to be somewhat of a balance, right? Because like I said, there's this book I read a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, called Spark, and I forget what chapter it was, but the author said that like if you go an extended period of time without like talking to other people, socializing, your brain starts to secrete more cortisol, because it thinks on a subconscious level that you're like you've been excommunicated from the tribe, and that hey, like you're gonna die soon. So it sends you that cortisol to push you to go, hey, to go socialize and find a tribe if you've been excommunicated. Like I mean, obviously, like we live in a different world now where we don't necessarily need the tribe per se, but it's still important because hey, in socializing, like it secretes a lot of dopamine. Like I don't know if you ever like really crack a lot of jokes with somebody, or you're in a deep talk with somebody for a while, like you start to feel happy because it's like we're meant to socialize to a certain degree, right? Now, like I said, in the modern world where we have all of these things like technology, social media, it's a more difficult. But if you're struggling right now, like let's say like you're just home all day, maybe you're a teenager, maybe you're in your early 20s and you're home all day, I recommend getting like a part-time job, and I recommend also going to the gym. Like there's a lot of people at the gym I talk to. Like there's probably a good 5 or 10 people. Like I don't consider them friends per se, but I have conversations with them. Like the gym owner, like I talk to him here and there. We have talks about diets and this and that and whatever else. So like I said, socializing is very important because like I said, you never want to feel like damn, like you're missing out on the human experience. Like it's very I consider it important. Like I said, I'm someone who's very reclusive, but I still see the value in the other people, right? Because like I said, you can have purpose, you can have mission, you can want to be a learner, but with all the money you gain and all the achievements you acquire throughout your life, if like I said, if you guys want to pursue those things, which is fine, but you're gonna want to eventually have a wife, you're eventually going to want to maybe have kids, you're want to have a good circle of friends, right? And like I said, if that's something that's missing in your life, it could be very scary, right? Actually, no, speaking of which, I was talking to the gym owner that I go to, and he said that he had a buddy that makes like a few $100,000 a year. And he's like, I don't know, I think the guy's like 32 or 33, but anyways, he has like this large like construction company that he runs. And he said that, his name's Lewis, the gym owner. He said, Lewis, I'm 33, I got all this money, but I'm sad, bro. Like I'm depressed, I'm lonely, I really want a family. That's what he said. And I can see that being a problem, because it's like, wow, you spend all your 20s working, you spend all that time acquiring resources, building a business or whatever. And then, when you're in your 30s and you have all those things, it's like, what's next, right? And, it's either, for most people, it's either spirituality or it's a family. So I think that it's very important that we acknowledge the fact that the human connection is very important, and it's not something we can just stray away from. Now, here's the difference, right? You don't want to be someone who's looking for friends. You don't want to be someone who has a seeking validation sort of mentality when it comes to meeting people, like trying to get people to like you. You don't want to come from that place. But you can, like I said, you want to just socialize just for its own sake, just for the enjoyment of communicating with other people, connecting with other people. You don't want to seek anything from them. You just want to relate. That's it. That's what relationship is, right? So, this is a difficult, like loneliness is something that's very difficult to deal with for a lot of people, because, going days on end without talking to people is scary at times, right? Because it's like, damn, like, am I alone? Am I going to die? That's what your brain's thinking, right? Now we can, like I said, we can get all mystical and spiritual about it and be like, no, like, we're all one. This is just one consciousness and this and that. But you need to socialize. That's the main message here. Now, I'm not saying you have to socialize every single day, but 2, 3, 4 times a week, hey man, let me go to the gym. Let me reach out to this person. Let me call this person, right? You want to have that human connection. And one last thing is, you're going to have times, guys, where you're just going to be alone. Like, that's what it comes down to. There's going to be times like, hey, if I have this week off from work or I'm on vacation, hey man, there might be 2 or 3 days I'm just by myself. And guys, like I said, you have to be comfortable being alone at times. I'm not saying you have to be alone forever, but you have to be comfortable in those moments of silence and solitude, right? There's nothing, guys, like and you can really get depressed about it, or you can see the value in it. Solitude, being by yourself, there's a lot that comes from it. There's a lot of good that comes from it. You can reflect about your life. You're not bothered by other people. You can generate ideas. You can write a book. You can start a business. So guys, solitude and being alone can be a blessing if you choose to look at it from that lens. But if you're someone who's depressed about it or just wants to see the negative side of being alone, then you're not going to see the opportunity and the grace in the solitude, right? And one last thing I'll say before I conclude: having a lot of friends is not the goal, guys. I've been trapped by this when I was younger. I would look on social media and see a lot of people posting, I'm with this person, I'm with that person, we're over here, we're over there. Guys, I can tell you just by experience talking with other people, having a lot of people in your life is never a good thing. A lot of, like, having maybe 2 or 3, okay, but once you get past like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, unless they really got their shit together, I don't see the value in having a lot of friends. You want to have people that you can relate to, but some people, guys, if you're not careful, will take advantage of you, right? So you want to be careful about who you choose to be friends with, but some people will take advantage of you, right? Hey, my car broke down. Hey, can you send me money? Hey, this and that. And like I said, I'm not saying you can't help people, but you have to be very mindful of if people, like, hey, like, let's say, for example, one of your buddies asks you for money. Okay, if he explains to you that he really needs it or she really needs it, okay. You give them the money. If they don't pay you back, you never do it again. And if they keep requesting, you cut them off, right? You never want to shy away from helping your friend, right? That's what friends are for. You want to help people when they're in need. But some people, you take advantage of you. And if you see it recurring, if they constantly need something, if it's always something, hey, I'm over here, help me with this, or hey, let's go do this, you want to cut them off, because now they're looking at you from a purely a utility. They just want your utility. They don't want your actual friendship, right? They just want you to be there to support them, right? And it's funny, my girlfriend went to Utah to help her sister, or to go on a trip. Her mom was trying to say that it was a trip, but when she went, her sister, like, I guess she doesn't work, but her husband works, and they were like struggling, whatever, financially for some reason. And they just kept asking my girlfriend for money. And I'm like, yo, like, they're just using you. And she felt that way too. And she's like, oh, I feel bad. I said, don't feel bad, because, people will use you if you let them use you. And if they sense that they can get away with it, they will. Now, not everybody. Some people are smart, right? Like, they're privy to human manipulation, but some people don't care, right? So you just got to be careful about who you allow in your life as a friend. But once you can navigate that and gain trust in the other person, you're good to go. But like I said, having a lot of friends has the potential to have more issues, because now let's say you have like 10 people 12 people or you're hanging out with this person over here, over there. There's a good chance that 2 or 3 of them are going to be wanting something, like, are going to be needing something from you at different times. And you don't want to be someone's, like, you don't want to be coming to the rescue for people at all times, right? Because like I said, you got a life to live, you have goals to meet. And like I said, you can help people, but when they abuse it, that's when it's a problem. So anyways, I hope this video helps you guys. You know, if you're struggling with loneliness or you kind of want some clarity on human connection and friendships, I hope this video shed some light on the topic. And if it did, I appreciate you guys. I hope you learned something. And that's it. That's all. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.